Today is the first in the series on soft furnishings, and we're going to be teaching you how to cover a cushion for your couch or your bed. Here we have a 60 by 60 centimeter cushion that is well padded with foam chips and wadding, and we're going to cover it with a Hessian type weave in a denim look. What we're going to need is a scissors, a ruler. We're going to need some binding cut on the bias, and we're going to give you a demonstration on how to do that. And you're going to need some cording. And when you see how ridiculously easy this actually is, you're going to want to make all your own cushions for your couches and for your linen for your beds. Lay your fabric out to the fold, and then with your ruler measure the height and width of your cushion and add 1.5 centimeters to either side and either height for sewing. So that would make it 63 centimeters in this case, where our cushion is 60 square. And I always find this is a tailor's tip, an upholsterer's tip. Take 1 centimeter off the height and off the width if you want your cover to fit snugly. So the first face, the front face, will be 62 square. Then for the backing, you're going to want to divide it so that you've got a slot that you can pop your pillow into, and we're going to give you the dimensions on how to cut that in a moment. For the back slot, what you're going to need is you're going to need it the same height, so that's going to be 62 in this case, and you're going to need it half the width of your cushion, so that's going to make it 30 centimeters plus your sewing space, that's 1.5 centimeters, so that's 31.5. Then, as I say, always take off a centimeter, so that's 30.5. And what you're going to do is add half that amount again, so that there is an overlap to the backing of your cushions, which we'll show you how to do in a second. So you're going to make the back of your cushion approximately 45.5 centimeters, and I always like to round that off, so make it 46. This is the front of your cushion cover. It's 62 square. These are the backs, and how you know it's going to fit perfectly is you fit it over the front, overlapping it in that sort of a fashion. You're going to have this at 46 or 47 centimeters across and 62 wide, and you're going to make a little hem on the edge of that and a hem on the edge of that, and slot your cushion inside. Okay. Slot your cording into your bias binding, and you're going to do a stay stitch on the edge here before you turn it inside and start stitching along the length. You have your cording inside your bias binding, fold it, have the foot of your machine against the very edge of that binding, very flush. You can use a zipper foot if you want to, but it's not absolutely necessary. And stitch along the binding for about 15 to 20 centimeters. Then lift. About the middle of your cushion on any edge, place your bias binding that you've started with your cording inside, and restitch over that edge towards the corner of the cushion. When you get to the corner about 1 centimeter away from the edge, stitch your needle into the fabric and do a couple of reverse stitches. You have your cording sewn onto your cushion to the corner here. On this edge, about 1 centimeter away from the edge, you're going to want to nick it in to the corner on both pieces of fabric, and you're going to want to turn that around with the cording inside for that sort of effect, and you're going to continue stitching along the next edge, creating a perfect metered square. Stitch around your entire front section of your cushion. At the edges, what you're going to do is cut your cording to match the cording on the inner side. If you just open that up there, you can see the cording on the inner side, and that cording will come and match exactly inside. Your binding, this edge along here and this edge along here, you're going to need to cut the edge that comes into that edge, just so that you can sew a 1.5 centimeter seam. So it's going to have to be a 1.5 centimeter overlap. Neaten the edges of your two back pieces and do a narrow hem, about a 1 centimeter hem. Should do perfectly there. When attaching the back of your cushion cover to the front, there you have the piping all around the front. You have it perfectly joined there where we showed you how to join it. And now we have the hemmed back put onto the front. Do the long seam at the far side first. It makes it much easier. And sew it on the other side, on the right side, on the right front side of your cushion, and stretch it in to match or to fit to the front of your cushion. Then continue by stitching along the short edge of your cushion. At the corners, you can meter that edge by taking a scissors and nicking it into the corner, into the side of that stitching. Just be very careful not to cut through the stitching line. Neaten off all your edges, and there you have it, the slotted back, the perfectly metered front, and we'll show you what the finished product looks like on the sofa that we've also covered in the same fabric, and we will show you how to make a sofa cover in a later video.